Morning. I'm higher vibrations and so are you. This has been such an amazing window of time that we've had the past months. It's been months and months worth of just amazing and acceleration and downloads, ascension symptom experience. Like a lot of people are feeling like just this bump that kind of came down through us like a couple of days ago, I would say, is really when it kind of started. But the level of experience that people had, most people felt almost a sadness come in, and it's kind of melancholy is one of the kind of words I heard the most about people talk about. Um, Along with this, though, there was this just go inside and just inside your own energy kind of thing that a lot of people were having. I found that was a breaking point, a breaking away from some of the frequencies or the energies that we weren't in alignment with, that we'd been taking along with us. So if you felt this, you're not alone. You know, a lot of people felt that along with you. Um, Hi, Source Maid. Welcome. Good to see you. Michael's here. I love you. I love you too. There's been so much new love coming through this unconditional, attached kind of love that's just been so cool to get to have more and more experience with others. You know, where before there was some type of something on the other end of the love, you know, and it doesn't have to be that way. And it's been cool to see more and more people coming through with this. Um, we're starting to get some more people coming in. Therese says, hi from Sweden. Hello, welcome. I just changed my background thing on there. I'm not sure if they're gonna stick with that color and the way that hello. Yes, Mila, says Jeanette. Yes. Yeah, there's been some stuff and it's been good. It's been really good for us to address it. Um, and to be able to kind of allow ourselves, yeah, I like that one better. Um, to allow ourselves to just be in the experience that we're in, be in the experience that we're in, and let yourself just kind of um, do what comes natural in those moments. I found for me, what I was doing is I was weeping. I was weeping for no reason. Like I didn't have any kind of sadness that was coming through. It just I was noticing that there was a sadness in these tears, you know, which is noticeable for me. I don't tend sadness or those type of experiences anymore. Um, so it was something that came in. Hello, beautiful souls to spiritual warrior. Hello, welcome. There's some really good stuff happening right now too. I feel the energy coming off of you, spiritual warrior. So you remind me, a lot of beautiful things coming forward, you know, and reactivations and realizing that we're more and more remembering ourselves. We are remembering, and to remember is to become complete again. Carmen, I love you, brother. First, I love you. Um, it's been really cool to see you come back. I'm really happy to have you around. I've missed you. It's 44 people here in the house. Lots of fours right now. Hello, says Jessica. Hello, Jessica. And Jackie is from the UK joining in today. Hello, welcome. And Sherry's here. Hello, Sherry. Lois says, hi, Pamela. Hello, welcome, everybody. If you have any comments or questions about Ascension Symptoms or any of this stuff, please feel free and I'll address it. Still working through it. Yeah, a lot of us are still doing it. So let's talk about this a little bit. Um, so it what it looks like energetically, as if you would have like a liquid underneath like a really thin film on a table or something, and you're kind of pushing it together, and there's it ends up being like a bubble, right? This is like moving so it can pop sounds like more concerning than it actually is. It's just we've had a lot of energetic pops lately, popping, this energetic thing that's happening. Um, and as it's doing it, it's like you can feel we're coming toward uh, we have this a lot of times leading into Lionsgate. A lot of you can relate to that, to Lionsgate, and that what it feels like as we get closer and closer to Lionsgate. um, well, this is the phenomenon that I'm experiencing right now regarding the end of March and the beginning of April. Um, and I'm not saying that it will start then. This is just some type of a peak energy that's kind of pointing at this spot. Um, and then, of course, um, I had this very strange phenomenon happen. It's a long story, but the short version is I came away with this weird and amazing vision, with a word I hadn't heard before, and I found my tongue didn't say, didn't want to bend to say it. And it was just kind of in the back of my head. I knew how to spell it, and I don't research like I used to. I just kind of let it float around, and it comes back the way it's supposed to. Um, and then that evening, my friend Jasmine said that there was something she wanted to tell me about this place, and it's called Manataka. And so this is the place that I had heard about. I didn't hear it of it as a place, but they called it a place. It meant the place in my head when I got it, with a capital P, which is when there's a capitalized word. You'll notice that when I write things, some things are capitalized when they don't seem that they're supposed to be. That's a sacred word. And so, anyway, this is actually a place right next to where I live. And there's this whole thing. Here's why I'm bringing this up is I've known the story that I had learned about regarding this Manataka place. I've known this story. This is the end of the Rainbow Warriors, the Rainbow Tribe, the prophecy of the Rainbow Warriors, this whole thing, the white calf buffalo woman, the fact that Elsa brought up that she had a white peacock. We're seeing a lot of different animals that are white. Um, when we see these white animals coming forward, they're reminding us that we're here now. That we're here now. It's a sign of the time. Um, and this prophecy that I've been aware of, I didn't know it was here. It was the place they called the Crystal Cave. And so I posted about it in Facebook, because it was such a long thing. I didn't put it on YouTube, but I will if you'd like. But um, the the symbol, the picture, I have to pull this up to show you. Just I'll address your questions in a second. It's just the story. Oh, and the end of this story is that during the awakening, Rainbow Woman will guide the Rainbow Warriors to the Crystal Cave. There, the warriors will receive the messages left by the Star People and gain the ability to communicate with them on many planes of existence. And this is what she looks like. My phone's kind of cracked. Yeah. This is an example of what they present her as. Very beautiful. I where I'm at, I'm in the middle of four big places, and we're in the center basically. And we're in the line of totality for the solar eclipse in April too. And the the place that we're at is the center place. And this crystal cave, everyone knows is here. Like it's a place that no one go to because it's sacred until it's time to go there. And so I'm just I'm here. I've been guided here. Like everything that has to do with me being physically at this spot has been let the universe catch me. And so anyway, anyone that does want to come around for the solar eclipse, we're inviting people to come with a suggested donation of $144. So it's just going to be the 4th through the 8th. So on 4/4 and some more fours. And it's just going to be awesome. We're going to provide meals and this camping. It's going to be fun. So if you are in the area, you want to come and hang out and be part of this. That covers the ticket for the event and everything. A bunch of us are going to be here, microphones and awesomeness, and it's going to be so cool. Yeah, please feel free to join us. So I have a question. I think this is a question. Multi Sophie, I like your name. Massive headaches the last few days. Yeah, okay, but also lots of inspiration. Like my body can't handle all the energy. Yeah, okay. Yeah, both of those. Okay, so the headaches, the kind of headaches I've been noticing haven't been as pronounced as they were once I started to walk barefoot again, even though it's cold. Um, for those of you who can't do that, I couldn't when I lived in the north. And so what I would do is I'd bring soil into the house and put my feet in the soil. There's something about this right now. Um, so the ionization occurs. We have our body collects all these ions that are positively charged ions, and our body doesn't like those. Even though they say positive, they're not that positive for us. We don't really dig it. And so when we stand upon the earth with our bare feet, because there are more pores on the bottoms of the soles of our feet than any other part of our body, this is a transportation system. The things that don't serve us go into the earth, into the soil, and that what that does help us then enters our body through these pores in the soles of our feet, which is why we can use. This is a delivery system of herbal remedies through a foot soak. Anyway, um, it purges these positively charged ions into Gaia, and she can do whatever. She's really good at transmuting it and making use for out of these things, and then our body can then be in a more harmonious state with these negatively charged ions. These ions come often in waves of plenty during solar flares, and the I don't know if you've all been paying attention lately, but we have been having a really big uptick, and it's going to continue. We had an X6 solar flare. That's a really big one. That's not something that we get. In fact, we haven't had one that big since for 12 years. We haven't had one that big since 2012. And so that's like a thing. So if you can, get soil at a gardening center from your yard. I used to have pots where I'd garden in pots and I just drag in a pot that was already full of soil. That does help. Um, it's not going to make it go all the way away, I don't think. It does help, and it makes it easier to manage. The types of headaches people are having all are varied based on the person. I can say that for me, it's more like right here and the two lobes beneath my pineal gland. You have these two lobes in the back of, that part of my brain. I'm noticing you're talking about lots of inspiration, like my body can't handle all the energy. I'm finding this also with downloads. The level of downloads that I'm getting is it feels like it's prompting headaches as if there's just too much coming in at the same time. So I'll ask them to slow it down, and it does go away. The last thing though is when I get headaches, usually I'm being called to be in silence and to close my eyes, because that's when headaches go away. And it's kind of a way to get people to be able to receive these downloads. So just keeping that in mind. And water, a lot of us are noticing our bodies need more and more water, and certain types of experiences I've had lately, I'll get a headache that'll tell me I need water. So just more and more water. Hi, Billy. Good to see you. Love infinitum. Hi from South California. What happened in Miami? Anyone feeling into that? Um, a lot happened at the same time. I actually don't know the news of what you're talking about. I don't follow any kind of news. I can say that I've been following the planet, and this east side, there's a lot happening energetically. This bubble popping that we were talking about has something to do with this that I'm experiencing. Um, it also has to do with earthquakes and with eruptions, and so there's a lot of motion. It's not bad. It's not meant to be bad, though. You know, I don't know what happened in Florida though, in Miami, in a news kind of way. Path 88. What's up with the 44s? Seeing it everywhere. I know, dude. Okay, let's get down to that for a second. Pardon me. Um, so yes, this 4 thing and 8. Okay, and it's 2:14 right now. The download that I understood is that it's all leading to 12. The reason that everything's leading to 12 is that we're leaving the Trinity into the quadrinity. Now, this sounds like we're leaving something behind. It's not. It's more like lumps of Play-Doh, and as we're returning to true self, we're collecting the pieces of dough that were us, that we left behind as we separated, right? Source began and had the first motion and went. and it looks like this. Looks there. Hold on. Without the fingers floating in there, these two circles. It looks like one of these. Let's do this. Like where it's actually cross-sectioned and it's creating the Vesica Pisces. That was the first motion, right? It's actually even in the Bible. They're right about that in some ways. And anyway, and so then each of those separated and separated and separated. And you could then see that each one of us, as we fragmented in our souls, our experience has gone into this where we are embodied as someone who came from this source point. And let's go down a couple of rows, then you can go in every direction, right? So maybe 4 of us are meeting down here somewhere that are all from here, right? And so as we're kind of going back, it's kind of a freaky experience, freaky and like a whoa, this is kind of fun kind of way, meeting each other, meeting each other's eyes, and we're seeing one another, we're seeing ourselves, and these experiences. And okay, so as we're doing this, now we're going from the Trinity, which is beautiful, and to continue to do that, by pulling it, we're resolving these loose threads kind of idea, so we can become. And we're moving into the quadrinity. I'm not entirely sure what that means. However, I can say that this is a consistent message that I've been getting a long time. So in order to get to get from quadrinity to from Trinity to quadrinity, you have 3, 6, 9, 12, and then you have 4, 8, 12. And so that's why they're meeting at 12, because that's a common denominator. It's a commonality or something. And this is where that bridge is happening. So now all of a sudden, we're able to access the entire bridge. I was trying to talk about this a little bit with Elsa on the show yesterday. I don't know how many of you caught that show with Elsa Dillon that we did live yesterday. It was really cool. We kind of tried to address this. So that's why these symbols are coming in for me. That's why. So the 4th is what we're looking for. There's the 4 giants. There are the 4 fathers. There's the 4 corners. There are the 4 directions. There's the 4 everything. And there's 77 people here. And when I looked up, it was 17 minutes and 7 seconds since I started. So there's 7s too. Oh, that's something else that's really cool about this Manataka thing, before I forget to mention this last part. For thousands of years, even the Mayans would migrate. Like for months and months, they'd walk from all over the entire Americas, Southern America, South America, North America, all of to this spot. And they would come either every 7 years or every 11 years, unless they were local enough to come annually. This is something that's happened. And I found the gathering circles. I was like, I've been talking about this for a while. I don't know how many of you seen these pictures of these. There's these massive boulders, and they're in perfect circles, like they're gathering places. And then a little ways down the path, there's another one on the other side, and it's like back and forth. It's meant at that time, what people they would come and they would speak different languages. So the elder men would all gather based on their language, and so they would be doing their songs in their own spaces in these gatherings rings. It's amazing. So the returning to the 4 has something to do with completion. Remember how forever, a lot of people, I don't know if you all remember this or not, were going on about how we needed to know what ray you were. Are you the magenta ray? Are you the green ray? Are you the blue ray? And all this stuff. And when I first started to hear this stuff and was like, oh, I wonder what I am, I got that everybody is every ray, and that the ray that you're experiencing at those times were it's based on where you are in your life path at that moment. It's got nothing to do with your personality of your all. And so, and the not only the goal, but what you're actually doing is we're all becoming this white. Completion, non-prism light is white. When it becomes prism, then it becomes the rays, the 8 rays, right? And so as we're returning and we're going into this white frequency, we're coming into completion, and a more balanced divine feminine experience coming through is allowing for the more balanced divine masculine to heal, because there's a lot of damage that collectively and specially we have done regarding this masculine. So there's just a lot of completion happening. Hello from Canada, says Debbie. Hello from Aurelia, Ontario, Canada. Hello, Colleen. Hi, Pamela. I'm really tired lately. Yeah, super duper tired. Um, and also I'm having a hard time staying asleep, like for any length of time. And it's kind of like a thing. Like all like, yay, I'm going to bed before midnight. I'm up at 2, and like um it's hard to really get to sleep, and then I feel tired enough to take a nap all day long, but I don't, because like we're getting constant downloads and like all this information. And also, before I click this, a lot of dream changing in dreams. So this is pretty much across the board. Anybody I've asked also have the same experience. The type of dreams aren't dreams anymore. Dreams are conferences and conversations. Before, we always knew and remembered a lot of the engagements we were having with other and interstellar beings, even just different energies and frequencies, the variety of beings, having conference and understanding and teachings. And it kind of felt like orientation in some cases. um, this has been going on for some time. However, I've noticed that I don't really actually feel like I'm asleep ever anymore. I'm conscious and I'm aware in the mealiness that I am, and it's really bizarre. So dreams, and not everybody's remembering their dreams anymore. That's something else too. Some people who had always remembered their dreams previously are having struggles with this. So my guidance in that is to use an audio recorder on your phone or something, because turning on a light or writing something down often takes me enough out of sleep state that I return too much into consciousness to actually get to know what I'm looking to learn. So Jackie says, is it normal to have burning, itching feet? They're driving me crazy. Started around a year ago, along with major ear ringing and blurry vision. Are these ascension symptoms? They come and go. Thank you. Jackie, this is a really good question. And I am actually having the same experiences, the identical experiences to you. Um, if anyone does feel a need to, and no one's suggesting anyone against, hey, it's 222 to see a doctor if that's what you feel like you need to do to feel okay inside yourself. I haven't done that for a little while. I used to go regularly, and I got a lot of looks because, I wasn't looking for drugs. I wasn't looking for medication. I was just wanting to be sure I was okay. Every time my health is in perfect condition. In fact, I'm better than I was before, kind of thing. The burning of the feet. This is a reminder to the need to ground. When I have discomfort, itching, and burning of the feet kind of stuff, all I need to do is take off my shoes and go for a walk, um, even in the winter. And go for a walk sometimes means step out and step right back in again. Like it's kind of fun to step out in the snow and then back in your tracks. So it's like, oh, where'd it go? Kind of thing. But um, this does help. With the blurry vision, this is really common. It's something I experience on and off. So I'm going to close this question so you can see my hands better. Is that so? When we ascend, we don't ascend straight up, even though we visualize it this way, where it's like it's really an easy path. This isn't how it usually goes. Maybe there might be somebody that does have those experiences. However, how I experience it and see it, it looks more like this. Now you see, I'm still making progress, and sometimes along the way, I could be like, "Oh, I just lost so much progress," you know. However, so we've been vibrating at this frequency and we're moving up to a higher frequency, right? So as we raise our frequency in this way, we start to get within the range of visual interpretation of this thing, because it's vibrating a higher frequency. So as we get up to this part, things start to come in and out, and it does affect our vision. So if this is what you're talking about, where things are coming in and out, and then, I found I went to the eye doctor and he was like, you got better vision than you ever have. I didn't start going to an eye doctor till I was later in life, but yeah, so it's a thing. And like, let's see what your other. Oh, and the ear ringing is really common, really, really common. There's a lot of stuff regarding that. I mean, you can, um, what's also call it? So there's smear campaign stuff out there about it, as well as there's some legitimate stuff probably. So use your own discernment and look into it if you feel the need to. I can say that whenever my ears ring, my first instinct is to open my hands up to palms up and accepting of the gift. Here comes something new. Lots of times I'm moving into a different frequency. It's a download. There's it's something that is almost like the signature of I'm getting a download or some kind of gift or some kind of activation. Um, I can say too that there's a different kind of earring that's associated with specific strengths of solar flares and also earthquakes. I'll hear ringing and I'll make a note, and it turns out that, like I found that out first when there was a big giant earthquake in Chile, like back, I don't even know how long ago it was. It was like around 2012 or 2013 or something like that. And so sometimes we're interpreting things because we're empaths and we're part of this planet. We're more her than we realize, I think, um, in most cases. Let's see. We got another one. Vegan Vixen. Hello, Vegan Vixen. Geez, how much effing more do we have to endure? Uh, face orange, biting nails, blue. It's because I'm using Restream, it doesn't show me what your actual pictures are. Um, but it sounds like, yeah, I get it. I know. And there's a lot coming in right now. This is like the part where um we're finally getting around to opening up the present, because the wrapping paper was like bumping around on the back of someone's truck on a farm for a long time. And you're just like, is that really my present, dude? I mean, so you're like, you have to get through the paper to get to the good stuff, to get to the present, and the present's now, this moment that we're in. And so allowing us to release all of these things, these attachments to, let's use this circle, all these different streams. When we remove ourselves from the attachment to all these different streams, we find out that they're actually part of it is, so it doesn't really matter anyway. And so we're not saying goodbye to anything, though while we're doing it, it's useful to use those kinds of words. I release you, goodbye, and that kind of stuff. And we're really starting from scratch, but not. What I mean by that is a lot of the things that we participate in, we do it in a way that is still part of the what you would call the old system, I guess. System. They always wanted me to call it a system. Um, and so as we do that, though, more and more, I understand that the ascension symptom experience will become easier to do, especially leading through February and into the March window, which is like that's when there's like the balloons and the reference of like confetti and stuff, is when we move into March. And like it's like super duper duper exciting. I'm excited. And that's my birth month too. So it's like, yeah, birthday party. Um, hey Miriam, good to see you. We have Debbie. Hi, higher vibrations, Mila. I'm having very dark thoughts the last few days. Um, I'm a fun, bubbly person, so not sure why these thoughts. Is it ego shadow revealing itself? So this is echo. I know exactly what you're talking about. Um, this is something that everybody's doing in some way or has done recently, is that these things are not you. They're not you. They're the part of not you that we need to, we're letting go away. We're letting flow away. And they always pop up on their way out. Often here's what happens is that we start a partnership with these experiences, and often they don't mean to stick around. They're not coming to stay. They are the vibration of emotion. And we call emotion a thing then that is part of us, inside of ourselves, that's us, and it's actually not. It's very much separate. It's a reactionary thing in some cases, but for the most part it's just on the outside. It's called emotion for a reason. It's energy in motion. Energy in motion means it needs to continue to move. And then when we get an experience that comes in, an emotional experience, um, there's some observation that needs to be done. So we acknowledge it, and then without judgment, release it, right? But most of us we do the judgment part. And judgment means deciding something about a thing. Is it blue? Is it red? It doesn't matter. Good, bad, whatever words you're using, it doesn't matter. Those things don't actually help you to decide anything about it. just simply letting it be experienced and expressed is all that needs to happen. So as these dark thoughts, these dark experiences are coming in, a lot of times it's the echo of these emotions that have been around a long time. Because that's what happens, is that when we grab the emotion, try to decide something about it, we're telling that emotion we want it to stay. And that emotion has some type of friendship or relationship with us. Like it feels familiar enough that it goes, oh, I mean, if you really need me around, I'll hang out. And then it does. And then more and more and more. So then when it's time, when we're here now, we're finally at this place where people are realizing this and we're letting it go, we're releasing it. As we let these things go, there's this, it's been here for so long. Usually it's distorted. The distortion is a martyr energy. It really is really what it is. And we're releasing this martyr, right? And so it's kind of irritated that it's still here. And so it's going to have like a teen, whatever kind of reaction, and just to release it. Thank you. Thank you for assisting me to get to this point. It is part of the shadow. And it's also something more. It's part of this inner child, and it's something more. It's this emotional thing. And so when we're able to release the emotion and let it go, let it flow, then it will stay away, and like, I do have these other emotions come in, but they move through very rapidly. It's not like boof, but it's just like, wow, someone's really sad right now, or I'm feeling this gleefulness right now, and I get to feel all these different things, and it's coming from different places, but it doesn't have to be observed um, in a I'm going to keep it now. Now it's mine, my precious, my own, like that I always did before. Because, a lot of times too, we'll notice these experiences coming in as things like anxiety or something like that. And what I used to do with that is I thought, because I do have premonition type stuff, I would take it as something's coming and I have to read into it and figure out what it is. And it would, again, hold it in place and imprison it. Hello, Leah. Welcome. Good to see you. Um, we have another comment about, Jessica says one is coming up too. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I know. I was just talking to Stacy about that. So we call a series of ones on a date Odin's Day. And I left Washington on the airplane on Odin's Day. And then this coming Thursday is Odin's Day. So I plan to do something for this day. What's really cool about it being on Thursday is that that's Thor's Day. And so there's something about this day. Um, the ones, and the matrix and this, all the code having to do with this and that, what Elsa has been talking about for so long. I'm really behind on comments. So I'm going to jump down and kind of go back the other way a little bit. But yeah, so there's a lot coming in through with the ones and all of this stuff. The reference to Odin and to Thor. And this stuff has to do with this. Uh, there's information that's been left behind for us to find all throughout places. And right now, what's being unpacked by many has to do with the Nordic belief systems. These really cool Odin symbols and understandings. The Rainbow Bridge. We are the bridge people, and we're the Rainbow Warriors. And as we raise our frequency and we expand this light, we are creating what looks like a rainbow bridge. Stuff like this. So it's really fascinating that you have that. It's really cool. Let's see, I'll grab Trina. Hello, I've been missing you. Good to see you. Hi, Mila. Love you. See you April 4th. Yes, she's coming. It's going to be so much fun, man. Be so much fun. And that's 4/4. That particular day is a 4/4 portal. And then the 8th is when the eclipse is happening down in this really super activating place. And there's a bedrock of quartz crystal here. So it's really fascinating. Now it's 234. Like, um, there's a bedrock that what's fascinating about is it constantly clears the energy. So at first I was like, it feels weird. There's hardly any energies here. Yeah. Star Child, I've been feeling, yeah, a lot. And this is the time that a lot more has been coming through about, man, my nails are really dirty. um, I've been playing outside in the wood. The, a lot of it has been coming through about taking the time for yourself, allowing yourself to honor yourself, and to take the, moments that you need, the rest that you need, um, not feeling any kind of guilt associated with self-care. This is a conditioning a lot of people are trying to break from. It's a new breaking away that's happening. And so in that, the is just the kind of feeling that we're having is just reminding us to just pull back, because a lot of times we don't have the energy to do anything else at that point. So it's kind of helping us out. Um, and this different frequencies in the air that Vegan Vixens mentioned is really, yeah, it's really fun because you can have like this whole, you won't, I mean, you have like all these different octaves in one ear, and then it's a chorus. Sometimes it's really beautiful. Uh, I know that there's been a few times that I've done it, that I was told by spirit in the moment that I'm hearing the frequency that I just reached. I don't think that's always the case. That was like, hey, this is what you're doing right now. So that's something to be aware of, and just kind of cool. Source Made says, uh, I have suddenly been up until 2 or 3 a.m. the past 2 weeks. Um, so intense downloads, insights. I don't know what SH stands for. Insights, activations. They tend to come through for me in this time of year, eating less, still sleeping my 8 hours. That's cool. You're getting the sleep that you need. Um, yeah, I've been doing this a lot. I've been really, because, we're trying to keep some type of schedule these days. What I mean by that is having a homeschool child and being a stay-at-home homeschool mom. I've we've just kind of sleep whenever we feel like it and wake when we feel like it, kind of a thing. And I've noticed that there's a pattern, or circadian rhythm, I think is how you say it. Probably said it wrong. I pronounced that wrong, but circadic, whatever. We have a rhythm that we stay up later and later in the winter months, and go to bed earlier and earlier in the summer months. And though this one in particular has been very strange to observe, I'm typically up until between 3 and 5 in the morning, and so and then having to have an alarm to wake me up so I can make sure I make appointments, because I still am doing sessions. I'm back on doing sessions again, by the way. For anyone who's interested, the link for that is, it's a new calendar. I had to do a new calendar because that one was like a Frankenstein one. The link is in the description of this video for anyone who's interested. um, Vegan Vixen also had some. The ear frequencies are mainly at night when I'm more relaxed and more receptive to them. Most of this is true for all of the stuff that we get. Nighttime tends to be an uptick in activity for people. Why it's really cool to bring this up right now is a lot of people are reporting getting just as much downloads and frequencies and things happening that they used to during the night, now in the daytime, and then at night it's like even more amplified. Um, I kind of feel like there's a need to take a nap before the evening time, because I will be tired and I'm going to stay up getting all kinds of downloads and new stuff coming in. It's very fascinating how rapid it's coming in. Angie's Soul, lots of humming for me, tuning myself in gratitude. Yeah, I've been noticing this too. Lots of humming, lots of toning, sounding. There's this thing about, we're supposed to understand about bear, that when we talk to ourselves, and we talk like this. And then when you do, I know it sounds really silly. It's kind of like, you're talking like you would talk to anyone. It vibrates your heart. It vibrates your heart center. It vibrates the heart center. And also, there's a part that we were taught about, is you hold your breath when you laugh, and then make yourself laugh. And while you're doing that, you're pumping your lungs in this way that's like we used to do when we were kids. Almost everybody I've talked to about it, they've said, I used to do that when I was younger. Most of us did. And we're just increasing our breath. What we're doing is we're activating and expanding our heart center, because a lot of us have these like kind of barrier thingies that we're stretching out. So there's a lot of stuff having to do with his heart center right now. Bringing in the light of source into the heart center, rather than starting from the chakral system above the head, like we typically do, does also assist us in a way right now that is very useful. So any of you that are doing this, maybe shift your where the light is going to. You can go to any one of your chakras. You don't have to have it come through the top of your head, but it's kind of fun to do this. Also, a lot of lower belly and upper belly kind of activation stuff. So we're having a lot of this, excuse me, solar plexus and also sacral chakra. So the solar plexus is the yellow one, the golden one, and the orange one is the sacral. Um, the yellow one's above the navel, and the orange one's below the navel. The navel itself is this womb center that's like this portal space that a lot of people over the months I've been finding have been storing the frequency or the energy of what you would call their inner child in this particular chakra. So you can go there, you can spend time in this place and interact with this individual. If you have the inclination to do so, it's highly useful to do what's called shadow work. um, you can look up a lot of different guided meditation resources on YouTube and a variety of other places. Though my favorite is an old meditation from a few years ago that is amazing for shadow work from Aaron Abke. I'm not sure about his more recent content, but I know that a couple of years ago he was helping a lot with the shadow work, and it was really assistive. What shadow work is you basically go down a series of steps that lead you down into the basement of you. And there's kids down there. Sometimes there's a lot of kids, sometimes there's one child, depending on how many lifetimes you've had and things that need to be addressed. Why is this here? Is that in the course of our life, we get critiques, we get judgment, and we get told, whether from the outside or our own brain, whether or not something about us is desirable. If something is considered undesirable, then we kind of edit self and hide this part of ourselves away. Um, and this part of ourselves become basically, like a thought form. It becomes its own consciousness in some ways, and but it belongs to us. It's we're not complete. We're not whole in this space when we're ignoring and denying these things. People call this the shadow self. Um, these terms were all coined by Freud, and from a long time ago. It's some that the cigar guy, and so there's a lot of words that I don't feel like a dark night of the soul is another. It's not really dark. It's the light of God, light of source being shown on the soul, so you can see the corners of the room and yourself that need to be addressed, seen, and uncluttered. And so anyway, it's really useful. This is a time for healing. That's the most exciting part that I can come and talk to you all about today is, oh, Trina, oh my gosh. Thank you very much for that generous donation. And it's fours. Thank you. Wow, that was so sweet of you. And wow, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. You're so sweet. I don't remember what I was saying. It's an exciting time. And I remember I was saying that I was going to tell you guys something exciting, and then thank you so much, Trina. I appreciate that. Um, thank you all for all of you who have participated and assisted, and for all of your donations and messages and just love. It's been so amazing to get to connect with so many people in such a real and deep way. You know, many of the friendships and these bonds that we've made feels like it's new, but it's not. It's something that we're familiar with, and that we know each other, and that we can continue to connect is just so cool. And so I love that I've got to meet so many of you in person, and I hope that continues. And it's Jacaranda Marie. Hello, sister. I've missed you. Hi, Mila. My almost 102-year-old grandpa, just passed away. Can you discuss the ancestral lineage that we carry and how that changes when the human we were coded to transitions? That's a very good question. I'm sorry for your loss. It felt like a celebration. So perhaps that is what it is. 102 is awesome. So yes, there is a transition, usually during the period of the person's illness or when their health is starting to degrade. we will notice that there's kind of unrooted, ungrounded energy that can be healed. That's healed. It's easier to heal as it's kind of floating around, though. That's usually when everybody's in the family is equally distributed with this energy. I just looked up and I'd been live for 44 minutes and 44 seconds. Just side note, um, is that uh, that's why more people get really touchy and they don't even know why. Is that they think it's they're sensing the person's leaving later soon, and they look back on it and think that's why. That's because during this time, most people are in this healing. They're getting the healing that needs to be healed that we're talking about. Okay, so then it's distributed. Yeah. No, I don't feel like that anybody has their portion. Like this is yours, this is yours, this is yours. Um, whatever needs to be healed is presented, and then the healing begins. What's interesting about this is that we find typically that it's lopsided, that there's usually one or two members of the family who are healers in this way, when the rest aren't, and maybe the others are also accruing more work in this lifetime. Um, so how do we represent? How does it change your experience? I would say that at first it makes it so we can, and meaning we can do something, and then it shifts to uh, some of the healing is done on the other side too, is what I'm getting right now. And I hadn't considered that. That's true as well. And so as that healing's happening, then it's being relieved on both sides. That's kind of cool. Um, so yeah, you'll notice more and more of your ancestral healing being able to be addressed. It's no longer attached to him, and that's what they're trying to show us. It's no longer attached to him specifically, so it's a free for all. And now that no longer has to be stagnant, which can be a really good thing. And I'm glad to hear that it is a celebration, Jacaranda Marie. It feels like his celebration. Yeah, I felt that too. I was waiting I thought I was going to say it was his birthday, or you just gone to a celebration of his birthday. So I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy that the transition could be something so beautiful. Um, what's more is that uh, there is healing being done for the whole family lineage once someone does pass, and so that becomes amplified in this group way, and so that's really cool to find out. Thank you for bringing this question forward. Oh wow, both sides, super cool. Thank you, sister. I love you. I love you too. Yeah, I didn't actually know that. And I won't know some of those things I don't get to I don't think about until there's a question. And so bringing up a question brings up information. It's really cool. Hello, Kenny. Hi, lovely souls. Hi, Mila. 3 to 4 a.m. bedtime for 2 weeks or more. Vibrations and symptoms. I'm in Portland, Oregon. Yeah, Portland is a pretty big deal right now, energetically. Uh, Portland, there's a couple of hubs, large population centers throughout this Pacific Northwest corner of the country, all the way down the West Coast. There's these little bubbles that there's some stuff being healed in these places, and so it's kind of a lot more happening. So, excuse me, 3 to 4 a.m. bedtime for 2 weeks or more. Vibrations. I'm feeling like the vibrations have to do with more than what I just said, though. Um, I can say that my dizziness and disorientation kind of stuff I used to talk about all the time is still there, but it's different. It feels, I don't, I mean, I'm more than confident to drive and that kind of thing, but there just always seems to be, it's like we can feel the planet moving. We can feel that we're not actually on solid ground, kind of a thing. So it's really cool that you bring that up. Thank you. And his birthday's on the 15th. So it is his birthday. Awesome. Awesome. Well, I feel like there's a lot of balanced energy with him. And so a balance of that type of such an early transition does say that there was some healing that had been done in this lifetime. So that's cool. And she's also, by the way, Kenny. Wait, I think it was Kenny. Did you say who was it that was in Portland? Yeah, it was Kenny. Yeah, so you're both in Portland. That's really cool. Um, let's see. Everything is different. Oops, I clicked. Okay, this one I meant to click. Path 88. Yes, vibrating so hard I didn't even notice we had an earthquake, South California. Yeah, this um I I would call it feels like an earthquake. This experience that I've kind of been talking about is that um that's happened to me before too, by the way, Path 88. We had an earthquake in 2018 when I was in Washington, and I didn't know it was an earthquake because I was feeling earthquakes on the planet throughout the planet. And I didn't know that's what that was happening all the way yet, but I'm used to it. And, and then people were like, "Did you feel that?" And I was like, "Oh, there was an earthquake." And like I felt it. And like my cattle door fell off, like this big gate on the farm door fell off. And it was a big earthquake, but I was like, yeah, I'm feeling like this again. I should sit down. It's crazy. Um, Also, when I get the vibration, often this has to do with what Archangel Michael explained that it's called the shaking out. And when we get the shaking out, it's like there's densities that are sometimes get stuck in joints in the corners. And so as we're pulling away, it's like that. There's this shaking that happens. Um, that also includes some variety of muscle spasms and twitches that a lot of us get as well. What I'm getting right now, and I've been getting the most, is the back of my head all the way up. I've been talking about this for a while, but it does feel like I'm being lifted up, but it's beautiful. And it's like all the way up my neck and my back, that part of my back. And like I'm feeling this love hug energy. It's like, oh, wow, kind of stuff. And it does have association with a subtle vibration. So I wonder if that's what you're talking about. Um, or something like it. There's a lot of cool stuff happening right now. So lots of vibration of the body. A lot of people are talking about it. Sherry, yes, are they are lining up for us. I think I missed Sherry's comment having to do with things lining up. Where are you, Sherry? My mom and I used to talk about how everyone was lining up for us on the other side. Right. There's there's a lot of verbiage that we use to try to explain things that are true, and we take them sometimes exactly literal, and so there's a lot of, but this is true. There's teammates and members. It's kind of like one of those, I don't know, what was it called, WWF or something. Remember they used to like do this pretend, or I don't, what I watched when I was little, they were pretend. I remember there was a battle about people talking about whether or not it was real or not. But they would tap each other out, and then when they tapped, that person could leave the ring in this wrestling match, and then the other person would go to town, and then someone else would tap him out. It's kind of like that. Um, what we're doing in this life, and we do this while everybody's still incarnated. You know, and we has to do with sharing of the load and stuff, and then we also do this in other ways where people are actually exiting and returning. The cycle of exit and return. Oh my goodness. Oh, the dog just caught a squirrel. I understand. I understand it, but it's a squirrel. Oh, anyway. So, what is the symbolism of that? Squirreling away, false anchoring of physical belongings. Um, that's what I did before I came here. I don't know. A lot of you know that I got rid of everything. And, I had to do that. That was something I'd been guided to for a long time. Nothing treasured, nothing lost. This could come at quite the cost. And that was what I did in order to come to this place, to not squirrel things away anymore. That there's no longer a need to prepare for some big thing, because all things are all things that anyone needs at any given moment are being given them. That we live in an abundant world already. an abundant world already. You know, for us to manifest that is simply to step out of our own way. You know, we already live on this new earth place that people talk about us going to. We're already here. We're already here. Um, Miss T's time. Hello, my friend Mila. Hello. So happy to see you. Healing every day, getting better and better. There's been a shift. It feels different now in 2024. What do you think? Oh, yeah, dude. Excuse me. It feels so much different here. Um, the crack happened for me on the 26th of December and kept. There was a bunch of different cracks, wasn't there? I just had to think about that because there was also one on the 12th and then of December, and then there was also one on the 21st. There was a lot of these cracks that happened as this crack happened. Crack is the word I'm using because it sounds like it. It's like crack. It sounds like space is cracking, but it's good. It's like it's like opening something new. Um, the last one that was really, really like things have shifted and changed was the 26 window. Now they talk about the a date, they always say the window because they don't mean this day. They mean like days before this day and days after this day. And this happens to be the peak day. So they talk about the window. Um, and so the window of the 11th this week, this Thursday is going to be this Thursday is a pretty big one too. It's significant for me. I know. I don't know how significant it is for everybody. I do know that it is significant though for everybody. Just the level, the deep that there's for me on a personal level. This is the other side of Odin's Day, the other side of the bookends, and I knew that I'd be doing accelerated healing and a lot of bullshit basically that I didn't want to do um, in this window of time. And so I'm very excited that we're now in the window of Odin's Day. And so I can be relieved and absolved of any further healing and regarding of that. Um, that is what I am being guided right now to bring forward for everybody is that right now is the time of healing. Right now is the time of remembering the grace that you are, the love that you are, the fact that you are. There's a lot of deception that we've chosen to experience in this lifetime that isn't entirely accurate for the world that we reside upon. And so we're finding as we uncover, maybe turn over each stone, that we can see beneath it that there is more of us, more of something, some part of us that we left behind and left unhealed, you know, and what is healing? We're talking about this emotional baggage. You can use all kinds of words that you want, but it's actually a place of celebration doing these healings, a- acknowledging and accepting the fact that these things did occur at some point, whatever the trauma is that you've had in your life, and to allow it to move through and to be released. And the last part of that can be a difficult thing to digest is that when it comes to perhaps someone else on the outside of us coming into our experience and creating trauma, often we sometimes feel that this trauma has some kind of consequence that needs to happen in order for that person to be absolved, a balancing of the scales, that maybe they owe you something when they don't. And that's hard. However, whether or not they paid for what they did, it wouldn't change where you are in your healing, would it? It happened. Whatever it is that has happened in your past, it's happened, and now it's time, one thing at a time, to allow yourself to just accept it. And now what? Now what? What stickiness got left behind by that, wandering open candy cane, and it's time to clean up that mess. It's not that hard to clean it once we realize that there's nothing else to do, that it's simply something that happened, and to love yourself, to love those moments of yourself, and to love all parts of it. that you were exactly who you're supposed to be in that moment. And now we are in a different moment. And therefore, you're a different person too. And so, allowing yourself the healing to acknowledge these moments so that they can go, so that they can be released, is where we are able to find this healing. I can say that the symbolism of the train or the airplane and having cases, suitcases, boxes, different types of luggage, we're finding that more and more of these individuals are seeing visually this example where they need to leave behind their bags. They need to leave behind um, one suitcase at a time as they move from train to airplane before they find that there is no longer any place to check a bag at all. And this is the baggage, this is the density, this is the stuff that I use to identify self, when I used to call myself a series of titles to say who I am. So a lot of that message was channeled, and so I do know to say that, yeah, we're in a time of healing, and that's why I am being inspired to be present right now to you all. I'm here because it's the time for healing. I'm here because I've been doing it for 30 years, and I've got the ability to bring forward how that's done so we can be released and then live in a place of joy and of happiness. The symptoms in our body are symptoms. They're symptoms of a variety of things, though the main two are as we as our dormant DNA comes out of dormancy, there's a physical sensation. We are very real, in a very real way, moving from a different type of density of a body into a more crystalline body. And then there's the other part of it that, as Dolores Cannon teaches, and many other QHHT like people will teach, that this past life regression therapy is due to the use of it is the paramount, and the most useful part about it is finding where these emotional things have been echoing from. Often what happens is when we take on trauma in a lifetime, if we haven't resolved this trauma, then it'll start to show itself in a physical way, and we can find out the marker of that. If it's anger, then it's our liver. If it's, and you can look up what the organ is in relation to emotion and find out that by just Googling it or any kind of a search engine. And often this emotional echo is layers of it, because like I was saying before, is you come into a lifetime and you have a trauma, and then let's say we don't heal that trauma in that lifetime. Well, okay, we'll come back. We've got to take some more of that trauma so we can point at it. So now there's another layer of it, and so you got this much, and then each time we do it more and more and more until our body starts to call out and cry out in these physical symptoms that we talk about. Often we involve the medical system, and whether or not that it's always, so I know that there's sometimes it's very useful on occasion, um, engaging in the use of what's suggested by these groups, um, simply hides or puts a band-aid, covers up the symptom, and also creates a variety of other symptoms for many people. Um, when if we can look at and resolve this past life experience, whether or not we even recall the past life, we can see this is about anger. We can see this is about shame. We can see this, whatever it is. And then as we heal that thing in an emotional way, our physical body comes into alignment too. That's why we've heard so many stories over the years about people, for instance, with cancer, who started to change their diet, became became a hippie. Remember those stories? And as they started to eat granola and do meditation, their cancer went away. And no one really talked about more than that usually. So this is another example. Once we find that balance and appreciate, love that inner child, that shadow in self, because we call the inner child a shadow. Isn't that just such a way to mark it as something not to want to interact with? Those words don't feel correct to me. So Now, all of the angelic energy is here. Our planet is flooded with light. Like there are so many beings standing all around all of everybody, everywhere we go now. You know, I was noticing it long before we came here. It's not specific to where I'm at, but I can say that there's a lot more than I was seeing before. So I don't know why that is, if it's because I'm here that I'm more in alignment or both. However, as all this light amplifies for us, this delivery system of light is to assist us with what's needed in order to heal these things more rapidly and to find the truth inside of you. What is your truth? You know, what is okay with you and what's not okay with you. It's all right to set boundaries. It's a limiting thing after a time. But while we're learning how to be okay and to stand in our power and to be able to use our voice to talk about what is not okay with us and what is, to declare what we will accept. You know, we're removing contracts or agreements with energies as we do this. So allowing yourself to stand in your power and know that it's okay to say no, um, and to love yourself as much as you are able to in each moment as each part of this past of you comes forward. And I hope that you all join me. I'm I forgot what day of the week it was for quite some time because I wasn't doing sessions officially, so my calendar's all been crazy. Um, Starting this Friday, coming Friday, for the northern hemisphere, and Saturday for the southern hemisphere. We do a weekly free group Zoom meetings that everybody can join. I'm also starting up some more of these smaller groups that are paid groups. They're smaller, and so it's more um, personal, and it just feels easier sometimes for people to talk. So I am doing some of those. I'm doing one on Tuesdays, and I'm doing one on Wednesdays, starting not this week but the following week. So anyone who's interested in that, please send me a message. Either I know a lot of you are trying to send me messages on Facebook, and I don't. I get so much everything else that I just every few days I just delete all the messages in there, and don't click anybody. And it's not personal. It's just most of what I'm getting is not something to click. Um, and so if you do want to contact me, please send me an email or contact me through Messenger on Telegram, which the link of our Messenger or Telegram group is below. There's over 400 people there all over the planet that are able to connect with us. It's really cool that there's so many people all over the planet because there does seem to be always somebody awake. So it works out great. But I love you all. Thank you all for being here. Once again, I am going to do something on Thursday. I don't know what. I do know that I'm called to do it. And so it is Thor's Day, and it's also Odin's Day because it is 111. And so this day is a high energy day. Maybe we'll do a meditation or have Stacy and Elsa or one of them or something will happen. So I love you. Thank you all for joining me. Um, I I really am honored, and I feel so blessed to have you all in my life and to get to connect with you in this way. Thank you for being on this journey with me. Know that you're not alone and that it's just going to get better and better. We can look forward to next month as it's going to start to peak up, and we're going to have a lot more of this energy is going to be going, and it's going to be going, and it's going to be awesome, and then it's party time, and that's going forever after that too. So I love you all. Thank you for being here. You're not alone. Aho.